Welcome to Chattergang, a pod about the magic and the gathering. I'm your host, Hope Speaking, but you can call me Jose. And today hear me out before I know you've already seen the title. I know, just let us complete this podcast before you decide to make any distinctions, because not all Phyrexians are that bad. From what I've been told, that might be propaganda. I don't know, but we do have Phyrexian Prophet here today. Prophet, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good, good. Thanks for joining us, first and foremost. So we really appreciate it. And I know the first thing everyone's going to wonder is why. I think that's the first question you probably hear the most. Why, right? Why? But we'll get into that. The first question I want to ask you is why, but not why. In fact, why magic? What got you into magic? What got you to the point where you are today in magic?
So that's a bit of a long story, but we got time for that, right?
We so much time. Go for it.
All right. So honestly, it felt like a buildup. Like I got into Magic in 2018 when I was in college, and I was definitely aware of it as a kid, like maybe a teenager. Like even like when I was in high school, I saw people play it, but I never paid attention to it. And then I saw the South Park episode about it, where the Roosters are playing Magic the Gathering. So I guess that might have sparked more of an interest. And then I watched a documentary about it. It was an old Vice documentary that talked about it and these pro players and all that stuff. And then I mentioned it to a real good friend of mine. We're still friends today. And I told like, I would like to get and play Magic the Gathering, but I don't know where to start. And he goes, "Do you want to play Magic the Gathering?" I go, "Yeah." Well, he goes, "Well, I have a box of Magic the Gathering cards. I stopped playing because no one was playing Magic the Gathering at the college campus we were going to." So he gave me like a free deck from there. And
Oh,
despite
nice.
how I play nowadays, I started off with Golgari colors because, I played games like Diablo and stuff.
Okay.
And I like playing necromancers. So Golgari was a great way to go. But also, too, I'm a big history guy.
Hmm.
And I got involved when Ixalan was in standard. And,
Oh, wow.
you know, a lot of people don't really focus on that era of history when it comes to fantasy, the whole Mesoamerican thing. I
Mhm.
thought it was really cool that Watsi did that and was very respectful towards it. So you literally have like, the Incas, which is basically what the Sun Empire, the Spanish conquistador vampires, the merfolk are essentially Mayans. And I'm a little bit unforgiving of this one because I was always hoping that if we went back to Ixalan, we would get Aztecs that sacrifice people to dinosaurs or something. And we
That would be
did get
cool.
Aztec jaguars, but we got literal jaguar people. But I still like the plane to this day. But that's what partially got me into Magic. And there's another couple of friends of mine that got me involved with it as well.
I feel like a lot of people would be surprised based on you that Ixalan is what got you into magic. Is
Yeah.
it where you started, and what the history part of that is what drove you toward magic. It seems like now, obviously, you're a little more driven toward Phyrexia. So what drove you toward Phyrexia as time went on?
Oh boy. So when I was going through Magic and looking at all the lore, like Tarkir is one of my favorite planes. I enjoyed the heck out of that set last year with Dragonstorm. I found that, there's a Theros plane and all that stuff. And the more I started getting involved with Magic, I get involved with Commander. All right. And a friend of mine basically he comes up to me and goes like, "Hey man, there's a game store not too far from us. You want to go there?" I'm like, "Okay, yeah, sure." And so he picks me up and we go to this game store. And they were renovating at the time. And at that time too, I think I had maybe three commander decks. I had my Gerard Gogari Lichlord deck,
Hmm.
which is basically working from the graveyard. I had a Zakama deck, which was basically just dinosaurs, because at the time I pulled it from a pack. That was a great feeling. The third one, I think I had my Lycia Sanguine Tribune deck,
Okay.
which I still have that deck to this day. So I
Oh,
love it.
wow.
It was a full blown vampire lifelink deck at that time. All the decks I had were pretty jank because I was a poor college student and I couldn't afford all
Mhm.
the big splashy spells. But I played a couple games and all that stuff, and I was ready to head out because I would have class the next day. But my buddy, he was still in the middle of a game, and so I'm going around the store. And as I said, they were renovating at the time, and I saw this box on the side. Now I didn't know what bulk boxes were, but I go to the guy at the front desk And I go like, hey, are any of these for sale? He goes, oh yeah, everything in there is worth a nickel. I go, okay, cool. Poor college student, everything in there is worth a nickel. This is gonna work out. And so I'm going through all the cards, finding stuff that's gonna fit things that I want and everything. And then I come across one card. Now, Jose, I'm gonna give you a chance to try and guess this card. It is a creature card
Okay.
that's 2/2, 1 and 2 black.
One and two black. That a 2/2. I don't know why that sounds like I can't remember the name of it. I have to think of it, but it sounds like the angel that every time you gain life, it gets a +1/+1 counter.
No, 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 no. This is 2019, so I was still like
Oh,
fresh
2019. Okay.
in the game. Yeah.
Two and I 2/2, not Chupa, because that's more. Chupa costs more, and I don't think it's two. I think it's 2 and 2. I don't know. I don't have it off the top of my head.
All right. Well, it has protection from white and red. That card is Phyrexian Crusader.
Oh,
Yeah. I looked at it and I looked at the art and I thought, okay, this looks kind of weird. And then I read the ability. I go, infect. Deals damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. Deals damage to players in the form of poison counters. Now, this was very clear that I was still new to the game
yeah.
because and when I played Magic, I played like a Gruul player. I like hitting stuff. I like
And we'll,
dealing damage.
and we'll talk about that later too, actually, because I have
Oh
questions
yeah.
about that.
But like in my mind, I saw that and I go, "This is stupid," and I just tossed it. And
Mhm.
it was a rare card, but I was like thinking, like, no wonder it's in the bulk bin. And why it's worth a nickel. This thing is trash. Oh, how wrong I was.
How wrong you
Now,
were.
fast forward a couple days. Now, there's another group of people that got me into Magic as well. They're a couple, but they live in a different state than I do. And so we're talking over like PlayStation, and we would play Magic online before Spell Table was a thing. Like we would play Magic over PlayStation, no camera, nothing like that.
Nice.
So, and I tell my buddy this story, and I tell him about me finding that Phyrexian Crusader, and he just stops. Like he pauses. I hear the disappointment in his silence, and he just goes, "You turned down a Phyrexian Crusader that was worth the nickel." I go, "Yeah." And he just responds, "Do you know what it does?" I told him what it does. I go, "Yeah, it deals damage in the form of -1/-1 counters and deals damage to players in the form of poison counters. That's stupid. I want to deal actual damage." And he just goes, "Okay, we're going to get a game going." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, we're going to get a game going." I go, "Okay, cool." Now, I still had my black-white vampire deck that I made from Ixalan, and it was all about making tokens and all that stuff. And so he brought out an old infect deck of his. It was like pretty much like an all play modern deck. It wasn't optimized or anything like that. And so we're playing this game, and he hits me and I go, "Okay, what? I take 1 damage?" He goes, "No, you take 1 poison counter." I'm thinking, "I don't take any damage?" "No." "Okay, cool." So as this game is going on, I'm gaining a bunch of life. I'm not blocking or anything like that.
Hmm.
And we get to the end of the game, and he goes, "All right, I'm going to play Phyrexian Crusader." And I think he was able to give it haste or something like that. All I remember is that he killed me with it. And so he swings at me with Phyrexian Crusader. I can't block because it has protection from white.
Hmm.
And so as I got hit, I get 10 poison counters, and he goes like this: "All right, you're dead." I go, "What? You're dead." And I go, "Why?" And he reads out the poison counter token. A player with 10 or more poison counters loses the game. Now, I did not get mad. I was not upset or any other descriptor you can think of when someone's irritated.
No, you were
I
completed.
exactly. I thought this is fucking awesome. I thought infect was the coolest mechanic ever.
You
And
were
so,
corrupted in that moment. That makes a lot of
yeah,
sense.
pretty much. So I decided to make an infect deck, and I still have it to this day, although it's not an infect deck anymore. I made a Gliss of the Trader infect deck. And the one thing I liked about it too is that infect cards were pretty cheap. Like I still had like a bunch of lands, and the decks I was making at that time were still pretty jank. But I'm going like, oh, this is very cheap. This is cool. And then I made another infect deck, which was the Scorpion God.
Mhm.
That was my second one. And then I remember bringing it to my campus, and people started playing more Magic afterwards. And there were some people who did play Magic who were coming out and going like, "Oh, can we get a game in?" Yada yada. And I at the time I only brought one deck that day, and I go like, and they go, what are you? And this guy, he was like a seasoned player,
Mhm.
and he goes like, what are you playing? Oh, I'm playing the Scorpion God. Oh, what is it? Oh, it's Infect. He rolled his eyes and he goes like this. Oh, you son of a bitch! I go, what? Do you know what Infect does? And I go, yeah. And then he just pauses for a moment. He goes, wait, you're new to the game, right? I go, yeah. Oh, okay, okay, maybe I won't swing out at you completely. I go, why? I end up learning the hard way that Infect is not looked upon fondly. And
Yeah. Well, also to be fair, and I'm actually going to be on your side in this conversation, and for the most part, and I love Magic. I love Magic players. Magic players just don't like any time you mess with anything that their game plan has to do with, and Infect is one of those ways, right? They don't like being milled. They don't like discarding. They just they don't like alternate win cons. Basically, what I'm
yeah,
getting. So Infect is just the fastest version of all of those, right? Like,
a
okay,
little bit, but like the one thing I can say is this: in a one-on-one setting, I would definitely say that Infect is kind of overpowered. Like you can do a
hmm
lot of disgusting stuff,
hmm
but in a multiplayer singleton format, Infect is not the strongest strategy.
yeah,
I think over the years with my usual pod, I think they've learned that. I think the reason why some people just tend to hate it is because they've had bad experiences with it. I'm pretty
absolutely.
sure all of us have come across an Atraxa Praetor's voice deck,
Oh yeah,
or we've all come across that guy who just puts a poison counter on everyone and just proliferates the entire time. Like,
yeah,
literally, at least for me, that's kind of a jerk way to play. Like, the
yeah,
reason why I played Infect was because it felt like it made aggro viable. And admittedly, that's
yeah.
what it does. It makes aggro viable in Commander.
Right, and that's something that I do agree with. And I actually have I have a statement and then a follow up question for you. So I used to have a Masker Girl known killer deck, the one that gives everything a wither.
Oh, okay.
And I really enjoyed that deck. I thought it was a lot of fun. People didn't love playing against it because they don't like their creatures being able to die even though they have indestructible or whatever, right? Also, I got solituded one time, and having all your creatures deal combat damage and weather is terrible. So that sucked. But my question for you is, how do you feel about the changes that they've made to basically the split that they've made in the mechanic of Infect, where now some things have weather and some things have toxic? How do you feel about that?
Honestly, before I had my page, I predicted that WotC was going to do like some type of mechanic like that
Yeah.
because there was poisonous back in the day with like one of the slivers.
Yeah.
That,
Oh yeah.
that's kind of how like toxic functions. Because I remember like I was very hyped for the set, and I was talking to some friends of mine about it, and I go like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be like toxic or whatever, and it's probably going to have a numbered value, and that's probably how it's going to function because you can't have the Phyrexians, at least nowadays, without some type of you know poison dealing mechanic. And lo and
Yeah.
behold, when is it happening? Boom. And I thought it was funny to my friend. I go to him like, I told you it was going to happen. But as a
Yeah. I
whole,
mean, it works. Keep going. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, you're good. But as a whole, when it comes to things like toxic, wither, and even like right now with Lorwyn, with the
Blight.
blight
Yes.
mechanic, honestly, I feel like because here's the thing: when all B1 came out, I think with those cards, I think that was probably because again, WotC has been designing a little bit more for Commander. I think some of those cards were kind of made to enhance the mechanic a little bit because you have cards that just put a poison counter on a person for just casting a spell. I mean, there's Prologue to Phyresis, Infectious Bite, or what's the other one? There's a black one, Infectious Inquiry, or Vraska's Fall.
hmm
Those all put a poison counter on someone so you can get the ball rolling. But Toxic is just kind of there to limit things a bit so that way you're not just outright killing a player. And I definitely get it. No one wants to be the first guy to be removed.
Yeah.
But I feel like it is in a sort of like balanced state, if that makes sense. It's just there are those cheap commanders that just make the mechanic really nasty. I mean, how many of us have seen a Finn the Fangbearer deck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like those decks are nuts.
Too many times, too many times. And I also think of it was similar to what you when we played. We were talking a little bit before we started recording about how we were on Van Quig's stream. Shout out Van Quig, love Van Quig. But how you were playing your Rambo deck, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
um, and just the artifacts that the equipment that you can put in there to basically make it so not only are you death touching, not only are you infecting, but you can do it all. You can basically wipe the board like the goblin sniper or the goblin sharpshooter style.
Yeah.
And it's disgusting, and I love it, but also I can understand why people are like, I hate infect, and I hate what you're doing. But I think it's entertaining as hell when you do it in a fun, not just like you said, the guy who puts one poison counter and then proliferates a million times. Like that's
Yeah,
just not
exactly.
that's not fun. But I think from seeing what I've seen you do, like you do it in a fun way. So I
Yeah,
think
I
that's
try
really
to
good.
be because you can play poison in a casual way. Like you don't have to
Yeah,
make your deck fully like optimized. Like you just have to find something that works and not necessarily limit yourself, but I can't think of the word. But
nerf
I
yourself a
don't know.
little
I
bit. Is that what you're kind
just
of?
have respect for your opponents, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. You don't have to go in like 100%. I'm gonna win this game as quickly as possible. You can do like
Yeah.
share the wealth, for lack of a better term. Like
Yeah.
if you have one
Because
thing that only deals to one person, then do it one at a time. And yeah, like the Atraxa thing, like and the problem is with Atraxa is either you're playing Infect or you're playing Super Friends, and neither
yep.
one is really all that enjoyable at the end of the day. 'Cause everyone says that's my Atraxa deck is different. No, it's not. It's either Super Friends
Yeah.
or it's Infect. Like
I
that's
mean,
that's
even
really what it
I
is.
like I have an Atraxa deck. It's the Grand Unifier.
Yeah.
I can say it's different, but mine's a flicker one. The only thing I guess that makes it different is the fact that it works off of the incubate mechanic. That's it. And it's
Mm,
got maybe a few infect cards sprinkled in there. That's it.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything different from the next person. The only difference for me, I think, is that the Grand Unifier is a little bit more fair than the Praetor's Voice.
I also agree with that, but that's splitting hairs at some point too.
Yeah.
That's just like do you want to die turn 6 or do you want to die turn 5? Like
Yeah.
which one would you rather do?
It,
Not
it's
that that's
pretty much
usually
it's
that
pretty
quick,
much
but
like, do you want to get slapped in the face or smacked in the head?
yeah,
Like,
exactly. Like which one do you prefer? Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
What kind of pain do you want to be in? You're going to be in pain, but which
yeah,
one would you rather be
and
in?
you don't want either.
Exactly, exactly. So something you mentioned while you were talking about your history in Magic is being a Gruul player, and something that I've realized while looking over your socials, and we'll talk about your history as it comes to being a social media superstar. But what I've seen is you tend to talk about Gruul players, and a lot of the stuff. What I think one of the first things that really hit was talking about Azorius players think they're stronger than Gruul players, and it was this, Always Sunny on Philadelphia clip, I think it was.
Yeah,
Uh, do you, and recently you did another one with wrestling. Love wrestling, so I was a big
yep,
fan of it. Obviously, with when was it when Boros players think they're stronger than Gruul players,
yeah.
and I mean I was busting out laughing. I think those are hysterical. But what about it? What about Gruul specifically, other than you like to punch shit, made you like Gruul so much and still like Gruul so much? It seems.
I mean, I just like aggro. That's what it is. I like being in combat. I like hitting things. Period. Like I'm as brain dead as they come. Like I mean, aside from that, there's not really any other answer I can give you.
Yeah,
I mean,
hey, that's
granted,
okay.
yeah. I mean, granted, I've kind of like not faded from it in a way. I mean, variety is the spice of life, and there are times where it's just you feel like things are getting a little too repetitive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have kind of pulled away from the strategy just a little bit, but there's other forms of aggro. Like I may have insulted the Boros players, but I like Boros. Boros is fun. Like hell,
Ours is
at
fun.
certain
Yeah.
times, like when I play standard, I'm doing Boros. Like I don't know what it is. It's
Wow.
just something that I come to. Yeah. Or just like recently with Lorwyn when I attended pre-release, I did Mardu. Like I love Mardu.
Mardu's pretty good.
Like
Yeah.
yeah. Because like when I first started playing Magic, I didn't start with Gruul. I didn't start with red green. I started with green
Yeah.
black,
Golgari.
and
Yeah.
then I made my way to Orzhov because of the Spanish conquistador vampires. I thought the
Yeah.
look was real cool, and I also did Is It because at the time
That's really surprising.
the yeah the Return to Ravnica set came out in 2019.
That
I
makes sense.
had an Is It Goblin deck that I pretty much
Hmm.
just mashed together, and it was just all about making a bunch of goblins and I had a bunch of cheap spells because of Goblin Electromancer, so I was just swarming the
Yep.
board with goblins and just hitting people.
Sounds awful. Sounds no, it sounds really
Oh,
good
but it
actually. It
was
sounds like a
fun. I mean,
it sounds really fun. It sounds like it sounds. I mean, I'm very much an I don't know that this comes across in the way I play, but I am very much an aggro player. I just like punching shit, and because it's the simplest way to play Magic, in my opinion, is just
oh
punch
yeah,
stuff. Like well, unless I'm playing modern, in which case then I have a mill deck because I built it when the One Ring was still a thing. So you know.
I'm gonna go vomit real quick.
Hey,
Honestly,
listen.
I shouldn't be saying that because a certain fellow influencer, shout out to Darth Demir, has
Oh
kind of
yeah,
yeah kind of corrupted me on that, and now I have, and even then I shouldn't be talking to because I even before I met Darth, I had a Demir deck. I kid you not, I accidentally made a CEDH deck without even knowing it.
that's really funny. Okay, tell us about that. Tell us about that.
Okay, so here's the thing: like when Ikoria came out, like I know a lot of people don't like UB, and some people may see me as someone who doesn't like UB. I'm not a UB hater. I just think there's an oversaturation of it. But I am a sucker for kaiju monster movies. I fucking love kaiju monster movies. Like
Mm-hmm.
my one of my favorite decks is my Zalortha deck, aka my Godzilla King of the Monsters deck. That is my favorite deck. I would never take it apart. And even then, all those other decks that had those Toho kaiju arts, like I'm not taking them apart.
Yeah. Side
But
note, I one of the videos I did see recently that also hit pretty well for you was the when you buy Zalortha but not the Godzilla art and
yeah,
you put it in but that's hilarious by the way. I died just looking at that. That was so fucking funny.
I mean it's true, is it not?
It is. No, it's fantastic. It's just, I was just like, this, like I get why I get you are hilarious, and that that just lent into that. So I appreciate it.
I mean, I no, I really appreciate that compliment, man, because I feel like when I post stuff, I mean, I just post whatever I want because at the end of the day is my page, and if people like it, that's great, and if people don't, then that's fine too. The deck that I made was a Gigan deck, and the Gigan alt art is Gyruda Doom of Depths. Now,
Mm,
I usually like to. I don't play Arena that much nowadays. If anything, I just use it to test out decks that I want to make for
yeah,
Commander because of Brawl. And
way cheaper.
so exactly. And so I looked at this Gyruda card and everything. And I go, you know what? I have this Gigan card. Next to Rodan, Gigan is probably one of my other favorite kaiju's. I mean, it's a giant cybernetic chicken at this point.
Yeah, that's
like
really funny.
like one of my favorite songs from the band Oxygen Destroyer, which is a Godzilla like kaiju themed metal band. It's called Cyclopean Razor Beast, and it's a song about Gigan. I love that song. But I
Love
have this
that.
Gigan card and I want to make a deck out of it. And so I go, you know what? Let me go on Arena and make a deck out of this. And the one thing I thought in my mind, I'm looking at all these clone cards, and all these clone cards have an even cost because when Gyruda enters the battlefield, each player mills 4 cards, and out of all those cards, you can pick an even converted mana cost card and put it on your board. And me, I like playing Theft too. So
You play all
yeah,
the things people hate, is what I'm hearing.
yeah, pretty much.
You're like, ew, mill, but also I like to steal people's stuff.
Yeah. At this point, either someone's gonna be behind, like listening to this, and they're either gonna be saying hypocrite or whatever insult is going on.
Yeah, yeah,
Whoever is
inf-
whoever's saying that, if you're booing this, your boos mean nothing. I see what makes you cheer. But I noticed that all these, clone cards are all even converted mana costs.
yeah,
And so what I like to call this Gigan deck, I like to call it like Jank Cascade or Ghetto Cascade.
that's awesome.
So I got this deck together, and when I was playing on Arena, I would say like was winning the majority of my games. It was a really fun deck, and I go, okay, I have to build this for real, just with other cards that flicker and all that stuff. So it's basically like a flicker theft clone deck, and I made it and everything like that, and it felt good to me too because when I brought it to my LGS, there was a lot of people like they were crowded around us, and they go
Yeah,
like, "What are you playing?" And it was just like it legitimately felt good. Like I made something wholly original. And
awesome.
then, I kid you not, I think maybe like a week later, I'm looking up cards that I can add to this deck, and I thought, maybe someone on YouTube has something. It was a brand new video someone uploaded, and I go, what the hell? A cheap CEDH deck. I'm like, oh no. This person whoever it is uploaded a deck tech for a cheap CDH deck, which involved Gyrudo Doom with Deaths. Every card he listed off was pretty much everything I had in my deck, and I go, oh my god.
You created a C deck.
Yep.
Is that a badge of honor or like a letter of shame for you?
Not really. Like I make what I want, and at the
Yeah.
end of the day, look, you don't have to play those decks, and you just need to be
Yeah.
respectful to the people around you. That's it. Like,
Agreed.
come on, just make sure you like when you get to the table, make sure you ask like, hey, are you guys okay with this?
Yeah.
Or are you playing high level or anything like? Because the LGS I go to, we they put up like signs where it's just like either casual game, high power game, or CEDH. So,
Yeah.
and even then,
And
like I got friends of mine who they do like playing CEDH. Like seriously, people give CEDH a chance.
CH is fun. I've started getting into it myself. I'm not very good at it yet, but I will get there, hopefully.
You'll get there. You'll
Also,
get.
also at time of recording, shout out to Zabricus for winning SCG Star City Games at CDH tournament. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, I saw.
That was really really cool. Now back to Darth Viridian real quick. Darth of Demir, they're awesome, and I actually had a funny story for you because I don't know if you saw this. We were on Jason's stream recently for Toby,
Oh,
and
yeah, that's right. Oh, when I
and
like, I contacted Darth and I go like, why didn't you tell me? Because I want to play a game with Darth.
yeah, I was gonna say if you would, we'll make sure you get one in because I think they said they're gonna be on Jason's stream again at some point. But what's funny is Jason also hated Mill, but Jason ended up
Yeah.
milling us all out. Jason ended up like exiling all of our libraries except for the top card and then milling us, every single
Oh
one of
God.
us. And that I was like, Jason, who are you? What has happened to you?
I
Shout
mean,
out Jason.
oh man, what does Two Face say in The Dark Knight? Okay,
Uh,
look, you either live long enough to become the hero or see yourself become the villain.
Exactly. Yeah, and he became the villain. He became the person you hated in that moment. It's incredible.
Yep.
It was awesome. But yeah, I think what's super fascinating about you is just in my conversations with you. We haven't talked about it yet here, but I mean you talked about it a little. You made your page to have fun. You made your page to put things that you think is funny
Yeah.
and then you put it into the world, and if other people think it's funny, great. If they don't, great. What made you want to do it in the first place? What made you want to actually start posting things at all back in October of 23? I think it was somewhere in there.
Around no October 20 no 23. Yeah. Honestly,
Maybe
like
maybe I have the month wrong, but I know it's 2023.
I think it was yeah either 2022 or 2023.
Yeah.
Well, like I actually thought about that for a while, not to get like too personal,
Yeah.
but at the time I was living like in a temporary like place because I had lost my apartment to a fire,
I'm so sorry.
and yeah, no, it's good. Like my dog is fine, family fine, and everything, and it was a bit of a struggle, yeah, and everything, but things started getting better. There's other things I won't go into,
Yeah.
but I guess I was just making memes to just pass the time, especially like at work, and I stopped playing Arena because I'm just going like, okay, hey, I'm getting mad at this game, that this is not good. Just stop playing altogether. And, I'm just sitting around and I'm just like doing nothing. And I'm just going like, what? Let me just, make memes just for shits and gigs.
Hmm.
And I was uploading them to like pages and they would get a lot of traction. And then I would see people would repost them on Instagram. I'm going like, wait, this is mine. Like, oh my God, this is mine. And then I'm seeing like all the likes it's getting. So then I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe if this is, getting a lot of likes on other people's pages, what would happen if I made my own page? And I still do it for fun. And so I
Hmm.
just say, I'm just gonna do this for fun. I'm just gonna upload these memes or whatever, and we'll do something like just do something like just to get my mind off of things and just
Yeah.
entertain myself in a way. Lo and behold, I did not expect it to reach the amount of people that it does now.
Yeah.
Like if I were to see myself from 2 3 years ago and tell them like, yeah,
Hmm.
you're gonna have this page with 20K followers, I would think I was crazy. And so and it just spiraled from there. And thankfully, like that couple that I mentioned, the wife is an artist, and I pretty much hired her because like at the time I was using like a picture of like a Phyrexian that I saw on Google and
Hmm.
everything like that. And
Storm
so
stormtrooper style Phyrexian, just white face. Yeah.
Yeah, it had that like white marble face and the hood and
Hmm.
all that stuff.
Hmm.
And so I go, I want an actual, character because that was the whole point of it. Like I just
Yeah.
wanted to be a character and everything like that, and just, you know, that's what it is. So, like Phyrexian Prophet is a character. That's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And so, but I wanted to have like an actual face for the character. And so, I went to, my friend's wife and everything, like, hey, can you draw this for me and everything? And there's the logo that we, have today, and I'm happy with that logo.
Yeah.
That is,
That logo's almost 2 years old.
yeah, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
So
That's and
it,
it's
it's,
good.
it's
Like it's
definitely a
very
wild
just
ride.
it's definitely distinguishable too. Like when I see it, obviously I'm like, oh yeah, I know who's talking right now. I know who this is,
Oh, yeah.
and I know there's going to be some wild shit to follow it too.
Probably,
But
yeah.
yeah, but I think it's so cool to hear that you started it as just a page to well, it started before the page, right? From what I'm hearing, it started before
Yeah.
the page that you were doing stuff, and then you came on the page and started making memes from Boondocks. Which, by the way, people who haven't seen Boondocks, go watch
Oh,
it. It's
God.
hilarious.
People, like, they need to watch the Boondocks. Boondocks is one of the greatest adult animated shows ever. I need to watch Aaron McGruder's other show, Black Dynamite, or
Black Dynamite.
did he do
I
Black
think it's
Dynamite, or was
I
it
think it's
part of
Black
like the
Dynamite.
same writers?
It might have been the same writers, but I think you're in the right realm of what you're saying there. I believe
Yeah,
you're about to check. But for those who haven't seen Boondocks, I think even in today's history, like it still tells a story that fits with where we are today, and I think it tells a very strong story. Has a lot of comedy in it, but a lot of hard truths that are something that we can still learn from. Also, Ronald Reagan in the first episode being mentioned is hilarious to me. So whatever. That's just me. Also, the Martin Luther King episode. That's just one I think
great episode.
everyone should watch that episode no matter what because that's just hilarious. But yeah, you started out before you went into it, started posting, started with the avatar from a picture that you found, got one made, and you are where you are today, 23,000 ish, somewhere in there.
Like,
Instagram.
I mean, I will admit, it is kind of disheartening. Like, I shouldn't sound like this, but you do get those feelings as a creator because, I feel like I've fallen stagnant and everything like
Yeah,
that. And whether it's my opinions on the state of the game or whatever, like people leave and all that stuff, I still feel
yeah,
like I'm at a healthy amount or anything like that.
yeah,
I can be a guy that just pays to get more followers, but I don't do that. Like, again, this is something that I do for fun,
yeah.
you know and
Yeah,
I don't mean to
the
say it like
organic
this.
part is something
Yeah,
that makes it feel better, I'm sure.
I'm pretty
The
sure it
organic
does. Yeah,
yeah,
because I've not I have not spent any money on my page at all or anything like
that's
that.
awesome.
Like, if anything, the only time I have spent money on it is when it comes to paying artists to put an art out that I would like to see. That's it.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome. That's really,
but
really awesome.
yeah, I mean, come on, man. In an era where AI is, doing a lot of dumb crap. I mean, granted, sometimes the AI stuff is funny, but there's a reason why people call it AI slop. You know,
Yeah,
it's it's devoid of any meaning. It's devoid of any joy or creativity. You're just
yeah,
asking a computer to do something for you.
yeah,
Ironic that the guy who has a cybernetic machine for his avatar and likes the fantasy cyborgs is saying this.
yeah. God, what a
So,
hypocrite! All right, everyone, just blaze them in the comments because this is ridiculous. I can't stand this. No, I'm just joking. I think that's fair. I think it's really important to because artists, and I feel like I know you've mentioned that you listen to a lot of. Which, by the way, thank you for listening to the podcast. I remember. All right, I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit. I remember that I was having a particular hard day, and you reached out because I was like, concerned about a lot of things health wise and whatnot. And you
oh yeah,
talked about listening to the podcast and specifically the Jason episode where he talked about his journey. And I think it meant so much to me that someone like you, who I look up to in this community because
oh wow,
you're
thank
doing
you.
so, you're doing something you love. You're having a blast with it. You're a really good person. Phyrexians are not that bad. Just, just I'm just gonna be honest, they're not that bad. But you're someone who went out of their way to reach out to me on that and befriend me and let me know that like it's okay, like here's some things we can talk about, and you just talk to me about it.
Yeah.
And I think it says a lot about your character. It says a lot about you as a person that you were willing to a listen to a podcast that not a lot of people were listening, that had just come out, those kind of things, and talk to me about it. But b also reach out and say like, hey, like you're gonna be okay, basically. Like it's gonna be
Oh yeah.
okay. You're gonna be okay. And I think that was I think that's why I have looked up to you even more. Like the numbers thing, great. You do a great job on stuff, but you're a good person, and I think that's
Oh, wow.
super
Thank you,
important.
man.
No problem. I think it's hard. I think sometimes you worry that the people who get up, as they get up higher, that maybe they lose sight of their humanity. And even you as a Phyrexian have not done that, which is odd to say as well. Just you're just living a hypocritic situation, I guess. But no, you've done such a great job. I think you'll continue to do a great job, and never, I've there have been people who have been on here way longer than you that have way less than you too, and you've done it organically, which is absolutely incredible. So I think that's something to look at and say, you know what, you're doing a damn good job.
Oh wow. Thanks, man. That's honestly quite a compliment. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man.
Yeah, I think I really do think you're great. I'm really really happy to have gotten to know you, and I'm happy to get to know you a little more here, because I think that it's important. Made this whole thing to try to get to know people and have other people get to know the people who are here. And I think for you, a lot of people do look at you as just the infect guy, or
Yeah.
the meme guy, but you're much much more than that. And you do have, as you stated, you have opinions about magic, and the state of magic. And you mentioned earlier that you're not a UB hater. You just,
Yeah.
you believe that they're putting out, which I agree with. They're putting out a lot. Like I think UB is great. I think the Lorwyn stuff kind of lends to why they need to slow down in general. But what
Yep.
is your overall outlook on the state of magic right now?
So, okay, here's my thing. Obviously, Hasbro is getting sued right now because of Chris Cox. And we know that those shareholders are suing them because obviously Hasbro is not concerned with the longevity of Magic. And I've been wanting to talk about this for a long, long time. It's just the thing is I haven't talked about it because one, timing, because of how Instagram does things. Now they've edited things where like, you can do 3-minute reels.
Yeah,
Two is how am I going to say it in such a short amount of time? And three is also like, hey, is it worth it? Because I do think it's good that we voice our opinions about UB and about the conditions that WotC is in and how Hasbro, because the way I see it, I've said it in one of my videos before. Hasbro leads WotC like their goodest little gimp. All right. WotC has become that gimp in that coffin or whatever from Pulp Fiction.
yeah,
But oh my god, I'm losing track here. But
you're good.
um,
You're talking about Hasbro leading WotC.
yeah, like the way Hasbro leads WotC, like Hasbro, like they're a toy company.
Yeah,
Kids aren't buying toys these days. People aren't really having kids for kids to buy those toys. And WotC is responsible for a majority of Hasbro's revenue. And they're just milking them at this point. And usually, when companies do what WotC is doing with the UB stuff, they're doing it to get all the money that they can before they eventually go under. I don't want to see that happen to WotC.
I
And
don't either.
I don't think Hasbro deserves to do this to WotC. And look,
Agreed.
like I said, I'm not a UB hater. I think UB can be a great product, especially when it comes to bringing new players in. And if that gives them time to like, hey, here's this own universe that this company WotC makes, and if they get them into it, that's fine. That's great too. But the oversaturation of UB will possibly be as hyperbolic as this sound. It could possibly end Magic. There's a lot of people I've talked to on my page, like privately, like when people message me, like I'll talk to you and everything like that. Like honestly, I will talk to you from my people who follow me from time to time. Like people even ask me like for advice when it comes to making infect decks.
Yeah,
But there are people who have talked to me where they said like they've left Magic because they don't like the direction WotC is going in, or anything like that, and they've moved on to other games, or people just feel burnt out from the amount of product that they're pumping out,
Hmm.
month after month, it seems.
Yeah,
And
the problem that I do see too is that even if you try to move to another game, we'll use that as an example. And Earthbound seems like a lot of fun. They're already coming out with a new set after having just come out in like November, right? So
oh boy,
they didn't. It's like they didn't even get time to breathe. So I feel like it's. Remember how? Are you into superhero movies?
yeah, a little bit, yeah,
A little bit. So when Iron Man happened, or the Incredible Hulk, then Iron Man, then
yeah,
Thor, all those came out, and then the Justice League happened. That was like a
yep,
huge phenomenon, right? Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How this is
yep,
amazing. And then DC was like, we need to like hotshot this. And then the Justice League, the first Justice League movie, the one in 2016, and it was god awful. And I'm not saying that Riftbound is going to be god awful. I just feel like what happened was Wizards was doing the thing that worked. Card games came and went. For those who haven't heard, and I don't know if I've said this to you before too. Like I started playing in the '90s, card games in general. I started playing in the '90s.
yep,
Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, the original Star Wars game, MLB Showdown, Yu-Gi-Oh a little bit, Magic back then. Like I was playing everything. Of those games I mentioned, what is still around? Pokemon and Magic. That's it.
yep.
It's Pokemon and Magic. And
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is still around too, but
Yu-Gi-Oh still around. Yu-Gi-Oh
yeah,
still around,
but
but
the
not.
Yu-Gi-Oh players too have like kind of
Yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
bickering about like the state of the game as well, because a lot of the cards have gotten wordier,
So much.
power
And like
creep.
one turn is like 40 minutes, or like one person's turn is 40 minutes, and they're like, oh, okay, like, all right, I'll go to my turn now, and it's another 40 minutes. The games are long. But like other like Star Wars has made 3 card games in the time that Magic has been around, right?
Yeah,
Like they're on their third version of a card game. And Lorcana's doing well now, and I'm really happy for that because I think Lorcana is a great thing. And Pokemon, the state of Pokemon, that's a whole different conversation because I think Pokemon's great, but the TCG portion of it is where what started before Magic got into that
yep,
stocks, the being the stocksy thing. But Magic has been around forever.
yeah. I
Magic
mean,
has been a
yeah,
stalwart, and it's
yeah.
hard to.
It is the godfather of all card games.
Yes, and it's hard for other card games to come in and not accidentally hotshot it because they're trying to catch up in some way,
Yeah,
shape, or form. It's really hard, and I think Lorcana has done a really good job of that because it's been around for a few years now, and it still feels like it's growing slowly, like a card game that a lot of people can get into at a reasonable cost, and which leads to me to the original thing that I know you hate that I'm about to say, but why I believe that Disney will end up buying or Hasbro.
I don't want to see that happen, man.
I know. I'm not saying I want to either. Trust me. I'm not saying I want to. I'm just saying that companies love money. Companies love surefire money, and
Yep,
WotC is surefire money.
that is true.
That's and all the things that they can't put in Lorcana, they can put into Magic.
Yep.
Like,
I mean, it's either like Disney buy them or Games Workshop, which, you
yeah,
know, the Warhammer guys, oh boy, oh
yeah,
boy.
yeah. I don't know if I want to get into that either. So
Yep,
it's not a good thing either way. But you mentioning that this is usually what happens before companies end up bankrupting.
yep,
This is also what happens before companies end up selling, right? Like you try to trim every single thing, and I've been talking a long time. I want to get back to you talking instead of me
no,
talking.
yeah.
But
No,
the
I do have
thing,
a point I want to make, but you can continue.
yeah, yeah. So the other thing as it comes to the health of the game is we were like Tarkir, fantastic.
Oh
Edge of
yeah,
Eternities, amazing. Everyone was so excited for Lorwyn, and then all the things that happened with Lorwyn happened. All
yep,
the printing errors, the misalignments, the cards being scraped from printing presses, the
yep.
TMNT being in
The quality
pre-releases,
of the cards. So
the quality of the cards because they change providers every set now for some reason. Like, okay, I'm off my soapbox. Go ahead. Sorry.
the point I want to make, especially in regards to UB, I mean, like you've been playing since the '90s.
Yeah.
Me, I feel like I'm in that weird middle threshold. Like
Yeah.
I started playing when Magic was making those changes when they moved away from blocks and there were only two
Hmm.
set blocks or whatever
Yep.
you
Yep.
recall, because Amonkhet had two sets. Then you had Anastrad, which Eldritch Moon, and I forgot the other one. That had two sets.
Yep.
Ixalan had two sets, and
Yep.
so did. the Ravnica set with what is it, Ravnica Allegiance and Ravnica, whatever that one was called.
Yo-
Yeah, the two return to Ravnica sets.
Yeah, right.
But and then I was able to witness, the 2020s, now what Magic is going through now with like Universe Beyond, the secret layers, and all this, and the drama surrounding that. I feel like I'm in that middle threshold, and I'm seeing players who get in through UB, and they tell, like I see it in my comments, like, oh, I can't wait till you guys leave because then we're gonna be taking over. And then you have like the other people who are getting mad at those guys because like, no, you guys are just like, whatever kind of like tourist, or you just here
Right.
for the time being and all that stuff. But hear me out. I think those guys do have a point because of a personal experience.
Okay.
Because, granted, like, yes, UB does pull in new players, but how long are those new players going to be invested? Life happens. And,
Yeah.
some people can't sink in, you know, the amount of money it costs right now. Like, people got mad at me for, you know, put like I did a top 5 worst sets of 2025, and people got
Yeah.
mad at me for putting Final Fantasy at number 2, and I put it over Spider-Man. And I didn't put Final Fantasy at number 2 because I hated it or anything like that. Like I mentioned, like Final Fantasy is not for me or anything like that. If you enjoy it, that's great.
Yeah.
Aside from the overpower cards that exist in it, Vivi, the price of that set was insane. Like a buddy of mine, we both went to our LGS to get that set, or rather, I went with him so he can play it and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
$250 for a booster box. Like
Crazy.
what? Like,
Crazy.
and even the bundle boxes were just as expensive, like $100 something. I can't remember, and they've only gone up in price. As
Remember,
I said in my
remember
video,
what the collector's boosters were, or collector's
oh
boxes
yeah, the
were?
collector's boosters. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Like, and that was just at the start. Like
Yeah.
they've definitely gone up in price. And like I
Hmm.
mentioned in that reel, that video, how do you expect to reach new players when you're charging that much? Because at the end of the day, this is just cardboard. I mean,
Yep.
I remember not willing to spend like, $20 on certain cards and all that stuff,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, because
$5
like
was a lot of money at some points.
yeah, and $5. Yeah, $5. Like I'm going like I'm not gonna spend $5 on this card. I'm not gonna spend $10 on this card. I'm not gonna spend $20 on this card. I don't care if it excels my deck to this, level. And before they started reprinting the Shocklands, those were going for like what, 40, $50.
Yeah.
Sometimes the cheapest ones
Yeah.
were like 20.
Thanks,
But
modern.
yeah, thanks modern. But how do you expect new players when you have that amount of prices? But getting
Yeah.
back on track to that, how long are these new players going to stay? Because
Yeah.
I remember a guy used to show up in my LGS. He was new to the game. He got involved around when Ixalan, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, became a thing in Standard. I think a
Yeah.
little bit earlier because or did the Fallout New Vegas set come out after that? It came out in 2024, right?
Fallout was 2023. It was pre MH. No, it was 2024. You're right. It was pre
Yeah,
MH3. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there we go. Okay, so
I forgot what year we were in for a second. So
you're good, man. But hey, I'm still realizing like, oh my god, it's been this long and all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But he got involved with Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and he was playing a Indominus Rex deck. And all that stuff. It was a really cool
Oh,
deck.
nice.
And
Yeah,
then he bought the Fallout stuff. He had the Mothman, and he also had the Caesar's Legion deck.
very
He
nice.
was a really cool guy. It was fun to show him the game and all that stuff. And then, a few months later, he shows up from time to time and all that stuff. And then he just stopped showing up altogether.
Yeah,
And that guy was maybe only involved with the game for maybe about a year or so. I'm probably giving, maybe too much time or whatever, because, even then, I don't know if he still shows up like on different days or anything like that, but I have not seen that guy since, because he would show up because my LGS does commander events on Wednesdays and Sundays. And I'm thinking to myself, is he even around? Does he even bother to play Magic still, or or did he move or whatever, or whatever? Life happens.
yeah,
Maybe he just doesn't play Magic at all. How many new players that come into this game are like that, where they only play for maybe a few months to a year and they just never touch the game again?
yeah. And how healthy is that for a game?
Exactly. Because then, even then, as harsh as this is going to sound, if UB is meant to bring in new players when it uses other IPs, then maybe Magic was not meant for them in the first place. And then there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's okay if you're not into this, you're not into that. That's fine. But if we're trying to reach a new audience and all that stuff,
Yeah, it's
you know,
I think what ends
what
up
is their
really.
longevity is what I'm trying to get. Like how long are they
Yeah,
going to do this?
exactly.
I've been playing for almost, like I said, I started on like 2018, so
So
almost
this is
six,
8 years,
7 years.
6, 7.
And you've been
Yeah,
playing
this is
since,
8 years in a row, yeah.
yeah,
I've been playing
uh,
since the 90s. I stopped for
yeah,
a
you've
little
been playing
bit, but
since
I
the
came
90s.
back
Yeah.
around.
And a lot of people are like that. My friend was like that. He stopped playing because he got into college and no one was playing
Yep.
it. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
people
funny.
that I have met like, oh yeah, I used to play back in the day and all that stuff. Or there are some people who play to this day and their kids play it. I see
Yep.
plenty of people like that in my LGS.
Yep. Thankfully, I
You
kept
know,
all my cards. I didn't do what the professor did and sold all my stuff.
oh no, I did
So,
something worse.
oh, no,
Like
okay. So, you gotta
yeah,
tell me.
yes, I got to say right now. So I never started with Magic, but I started with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay.
And I had the original Yugi deck, like from the show and all that stuff that they made, the box and all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I had all original stuff, Red Eyes Black Dragon, all that stuff. And I remember, like, as a kid, cleaning out, like, the basement, all that stuff, and I found these cards. I thought they were useless cardboard, and I threw them in the garbage.
Oh no.
So when I go to my LGS and I see that case and I see those those damn Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I look at them and I go, "Oh crap! I could have paid off a lot of bills with you."
Yep. Yep. I when I was playing Pokemon back in the day, I collected a lot. I had first editions, like everything from base set, and
Oh
my cards
boy.
got stolen at school. They got stolen, and
Ooh,
it
man,
was heartbreaking back then. And now knowing where we came to, like,
soul crushing.
I so yeah, it is soul crushing. It is so soul crushing. But it's one of those things that you don't know at the time, right? Like you're just like, oh, like you said,
Yep.
it's just cardboard. Or for me, like oh, it'll be like I'll just build up my collection again. And now we're like, oh fuck, like
Yeah.
all the things I could have done. It's the I should have bought a house in 1972 thing, right?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. But okay, so we've this time has flown, by the way.
I know.
Like
Holy
this has been
crap.
such a fun time. But I want we'll have to do a follow up at some point and just talk more because
Definitely.
we definitely had a great time. But I want to because I know you're on a bit of a time crunch. I want to make sure we get in the super hard, very difficult. No one's been
Yeah.
able to
I mean,
answer
we
them
could go a little bit
questions.
further. There's nothing wrong with that, man.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. Well, we'll probably go a little further with the questions too, because I
Right.
think these questions are always super important. But we'll start. You've listened before, so you kind of know them. But
I
want
will
to start
admit,
as
I haven't been listening recently because I've been listening to the new Ruins of Everest album. That album is my cocaine. I love it to death.
hey that's okay. I when the new baby metal fourth came out, I listened to that on repeat for like 2 days straight. So I totally get it. And my wife doesn't really like baby metal, but I think I played it enough where she's like cool with it. So I get it. You get into flows, you get into rhythms. It's all good. But
Yep.
the first question I'm going to ask you is, what is your favorite card of all time?
Ooh, that's a deep question for me.
If you'd rather do like a Mount Rushmore or a top five, you're welcome to do that.
Oh no, I'm
That
thinking of
would be
one like,
fine.
if any, like, I mean, I will admit I like creatures and all that stuff. And despite me not really being a quote unquote fan of blue, even though I do play blue,
Mhm.
I would have to say Blighted Agent.
Blighted Agent. I don't
Yeah.
know that. What is that one?
So Blighted Agent is a one in a blue, 1/1 with unblockable and infect. It's
Gross.
like a human rogue or whatever like that. I mean, ever
Yeah,
since like WotC changed things when it comes to Phyrexians, now it's an official Phyrexian creature type. But yeah, I think that card is the ultimate Phyrexian. Like Blightsteel Colossus, get out of here. You want to know why? Blightsteel Colossus can be blocked.
that's true.
Blighted Agent can't be blocked. He has unblockable. Damn it.
It's that what's that changeling that is unblockable and then people just ninjutsu with it? It's that, but with infect.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gross. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay,
I like
so I like it, Picasso. What is your favorite deck that you've ever made or ever played with?
I mean, definitely my Zalortha deck, man. Like it is my
Yep.
favorite deck. It's the deck I probably maybe edited the most. Like it's Godzilla. I'm a Godzilla nerd.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a simple man. I see Godzilla, I like.
Hey, that's
But
absolutely
yeah,
fair. That do you have you ever watched Death Battles? Have you ever seen those before?
I have.
Okay. There was one recently that came out with where Godzilla fought
Yeah, fights the Hulk.
the Hulk. What is your opinions on that?
I accept it, but I don't want to believe it. It doesn't exist. It's fiction.
Okay, that's fair. What about the Mecha Godzilla versus the Dragon Zord?
Oh, it's been a while since I've seen that one. Did Mechagodzilla win that one, or was it the Dragon Zord?
I think it's the Dragon Zord won that one.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to double check, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Dragon Zord won that one because Power Rangers very overpowered.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of agree with you. I didn't want to accept it, even though I like Hulk a lot. It just seemed kind of like what the heck? It's Godzilla. Come on.
I mean, my thing is too is like I feel like they BS'd it at the end with the Bruce Banner thing, and I go like, wait, what's
Yeah.
like we're like all the Godzilla movies I've seen because they were collecting everything from Godzilla apparently, or at
Hmm.
least I think at a certain point. Like Godzilla has lived when he has like no brain or anything like that. Like if anyone's seen GMK, one of the best
Hmm.
Millennium series, one of the best Millennium series movies, his heart is beating underwater, showing that he's still alive. Or even at the end of the Godzilla -1, he is regenerating as he's sinking down into the ocean.
Wow, that's I actually
Yeah,
didn't know that. That's crazy. Side note, I
yeah.
was wrong. Mecha Godzilla did win against the Dragon Zord, so that's
Okay.
good. I feel much better about that.
It wasn't just Mechagodzilla; it was Kiryu.
That's true. That's true. I also have a question because you are a big fan. They're coming out with Godzilla. Was it -1 was before? Is the next one -2?
Yeah,
I
the
can't
next
remember.
one it's -0.
-0. That's right. Are you
Yeah.
excited for this?
Oh, I'm definitely like, dude. -1, I think, is a very like, you know, it is gonna sound weird, like, but I love that film. But I felt, like, I kid you not, like, I legitimately like teared up at that movie. Not because it was like Godzilla, but it was like the main character when like he just loses everything and Godzilla just blasts,
Yeah,
that his atomic breath and just blows up. I forgot what city
I don't remember either.
blew up. Oh, I can't remember the name of the city. And it's funny because I got a buddy of mine. He took a trip to Japan. He was going like, "Oh, hey, I've been there," when he was watching it. But that point where he just screams out and cries and everything. And in 2022, like I lost my apartment to a fire. Like that
Wow.
really resonated with me because it's just like, I mean, obviously I didn't survive like a nuclear bomb being dropped on me or anything like that, but
Right.
it was that feeling of loss and everything like that, where it's just like, oh my god, like it's a very emotional scene. It's a very powerful scene. Like, and even when
Yeah.
like the black rain falls, it's like, oh my god, and like that sun and then the music, oh my god, like I favorited that whole soundtrack. I love the Godzilla -1 soundtrack. It is great.
Ginza District of Tokyo.
There you go.
Ginza District of Tokyo. I
Mm.
And your reaction is actually the reaction I've heard from everyone who's watched that movie. Like
Yep.
it's not it's are you expecting the second one or the -0 to be as good, better, or is it going to have the sequel syndrome in your opinion?
Honestly, I really don't know. I mean, I'm excited for it.
Mhm.
It's still got the same director, and I remember hearing a lot of things what he wanted to do. I remember there were moments where like articles came out where he wanted to put Violent in the film,
Mhm.
which I think makes a lot of sense. Like if the main character is like his love interest like died, and he plants like a rose in like a garden or something like that, and because Biolantes is from a mutated rose plant,
Yeah.
and that makes a lot of sense because the way, spoiler alert, I'm sorry if you haven't seen the movie, but like I mean, oh wait, Jose, have you seen the movie?
I have not all the way through, but it's okay.
Oh, are you sure?
I plan on watching it. It's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, but like she has like this black ink flowing on her neck and everything, which probably
Mhm.
shows that she might have Godzilla's DNA in her, or might be infected in some way, something like
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
In Godzilla, and in Godzilla vs. Biollante, Biollante is not just a mutated, rose. Biolante's mutated from Godzilla's cells with a
Oh,
rose. Yeah,
I did know that actually.
yeah.
I did
So
know
it's
that.
like it would make sense if they did do a movie like that, and even then the
Yeah.
characters like in Godzilla vs. Biollante, he tries to bring back his daughter through like Godzilla cells and all that stuff. It's been a while since I've seen the film, but it would probably make the same. It would probably have the same effect if you do it that. But the director for Godzilla -1 has also specified he's interested in adding Hedorah into the film too, and we haven't seen Hedorah in the films in a long time either.
Wow. That sounds that sounds actually really exciting. And don't worry, when it comes to movie stuff and shows, I watch a lot of what culture or basically like movie reviews and like one of my favorites is Jeremy Johns. If anyone likes watching movie reviews, Jeremy Johns, he tries to do it without spoilers. He just says what he likes about movies and then has a spoiler one after. But I watch a lot of that stuff because I like knowing things.
Yeah,
And usually what happens is if I watch some kind of movie review, a movie that I haven't seen comes up, I find out information about it, and then I probably end up watching it later because I'm like, oh, this just sounds really fun or really good, or like I'm gonna have an emotional roller coaster during this movie. So no worries for me there. Everyone else who you spoiled it for is already hated you, so it's fine.
yeah.
But I think it's exciting. I'm glad that they're coming out with another one. I'm glad you're excited. That makes me happy, and
Oh
that
yeah.
makes me. I always get worried that like it's the like should they have left it alone thing, like how they're coming out with how they're talking about making another K-pop Demon Hunters movie. I feel like I'm like you should probably just leave it alone. You should just leave it and just live off of
I
that
mean, usually
forever.
when movies
Um,
see that there's a money maker, they're probably gonna hop on it and do like a sequel and all that stuff.
I know, and I
If,
hate
if they
it,
do a
but
sequel of K-pop Demon Hunters, then Blue Collar Commander is probably gonna invite me again, along with like I did a bet with Blue Collar Commander and
oh,
Steph from Mono Black Meanies.
shout out to them.
Yep, I made a bet that if I lost the match, we all did a arch enemy game, and I
Mhm.
lost, and I was forced to watch that movie.
What did you think?
I'm gonna. It's not for me. Like
It's not
I
for
did a
you.
review of it on my page, and
I'll
I
check it.
essentially like, it's not for me. But if it makes Disney shit its pants, then I'm all for it.
That's also fair. I think that's fair. Watch out now, they're gonna buy Netflix too. Please
Oh
don't.
god.
Please God don't. Please God don't.
I mean,
All right.
Netflix already bought Warner Brothers, man. Oh no.
Trying to. Yeah. Good luck to
Uh,
me as a Mortal Kombat fan. Whenever that next video game comes out, or Injustice, whatever one they're gonna try to put. I guess now, I guess maybe they're more likely to put out an Injustice game if it's Netflix. I don't know. I give up. Yeah, I give up on that whole thing. I'm sad. What is a card that you think you play most often? Like one singular card. It doesn't have to be colorless. It can be like when you play a specific color, you play this card most often. Maybe it's Blighted Agent, for example.
yeah. I mean, if anything, like I try to sneak in like a Phyrexian card in some of my decks
Hmm.
sometimes. Like there at least has to be like one type of Phyrexian card in there. I think at least for some of my decks. Like I have a
That's fair.
Rodan deck, which is Vadrock, and I have Ogre Banile in the deck.
That's so funny.
Like
You
what's
stick you
another
stick to your
deck?
brand, is what I'm hearing. You stick to
Yeah,
your
pretty
brand.
much, yeah. But a card that I play a lot. I'm trying to think.
I tend to play a lot of Elixir of Mortality. It's gotten to the point that my friends that I play at home with, they say you should build just an Elixir of Mortality deck
Yeah.
where like literally rule zero, Elixir of Mortality, and lands. I'm like, I don't tempt me.
Honestly, like when I heard you say that Elixir of Immortality was your favorite card when I first heard your podcast, I thought, nice, thank you.
Yeah,
Finally, someone gets it. Elixir of Immortality was one of the first, cards that I bought and
that's
everything. I liked
awesome.
what it did because, when people like, because I was playing a lot of graveyard decks back then, and
Hmm.
so I didn't want anyone to touch my graveyard. But the only thing is that Elixir of Immortality is in my Lycia Sanguine Tribute deck. So I will say this though, like if anyone from WotC is listening, make a Dark Soul set. Do it. And you can
Hey,
have
do it.
the Elixir of Immortality be an Estus flask.
You know what? Yes, yeah, yes.
I will stop
Please.
complaining about Universe Beyond for a year if they do that.
I'm literally going to stop. I'm going to stop for like at least a couple weeks because they decided to pull back on the Demon Hunters. Like I'm just thankful that they said, you know what, this isn't good enough. Let's stop it. As opposed to,
Yeah,
you
they
know
pulled
what, like
back
they
from
did
the
with the
monster.
yeah Monster Hunters. That's what it was, Monster Hunters. Like they did with when they put out that Lord of the Rings the cartoon art, and like it was like buy this for $40, and like the cards literally all together were worth like 20 cents or something. Like the art, the you putting like I can literally proxy that, like putting
Yep.
a screenshot onto a card myself. I don't need you to do that for me. I,
Yep.
I've been on a lot of soapboxes during that. This is what you do. You bring this out in me, apparently.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
sorry.
no, you're good. You're good. But yes, Dark Souls set, please. That actually sounds fantastic. Did you have another card that you play a lot other than just Phyrexians, or
You know
would you
what?
say it's probably
At least when
Phyrexians?
it comes to my red decks, and there's two of them because they're pretty much the same thing.
Hmm.
And it's Cosmotronic Wave and Hazardous Blast. They're pretty much the same card, same mana cost, and they deal 1 damage to each creature, and creatures cannot block.
Ooh,
Like your
that's
opponent's creatures
fun.
cannot block when they take damage. I love that card because again, I like hitting things and having such
Yeah.
a card that hits all of your opponent's stuff and they just cannot block. That to me, oh, beautiful.
And that's from guilds. That's from guilds. That's a good card. Yeah.
Yep.
God,
Hazardous
I
Blast
like it.
though is from All of You One.
All will be one. Yeah.
Yeah,
But the
but it's a
cosmetronic.
different name.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
like how I do. I'm on the. How do you feel about them basically when they reprint the same card over and over again, but with a different name, like how they've reprinted Rampant Growth as Shared Roots in Avatar? How do you feel about that stuff in general?
I mean, there's a video that someone made. I forgot the guy's name because I do watch his videos from time to time where he says, in Commander, there's no such thing as singleton and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
I need to watch the video. I haven't gotten around to watching it. But even then, Magic has been doing that for a long time and everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many people put Cultivate and Kodama's Reach in their deck?
Yeah.
Like
That's
if you're playing green, like I know I do it because I primarily play green. It's the same card but with a different name, and why wouldn't you?
yeah. Yeah.
So
That's fair.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I agree. I just wondered if you had what your opinion on that was, because
Yeah.
I think redundancy is not a terrible thing when you can have it, but unless you're playing like 15 counter spells, in which case like tone it down a bit. Tone it down a bit. What is a card you think people should play more often, or mechanic, not including infect, not
Oh
including
no,
infect?
you're good.
We know the
I
answer
knew
is infect.
this was coming, and
Yes,
that is removal. People play
play
more
more.
removal.
Yes,
Like
I agree with that.
because the one thing I've learned my times playing Commander and everything like that, and I'm not just saying creature removal or anything like that. I know the meme and the joke everyone says there's no removal like player removal, but people need
Yeah.
to truly add more removal because there are times where I see people playing certain enchantments that are problems,
Mm-hmm.
and no one has a response to them. And even
Yep.
then, there's a lot of cheap removal spells. I mean, even Black now has gotten enchantment removal. You got
Yeah.
Feed the Swarm, or was it Farrakha's Mending? I
There's
think, or
also
Farrakh.
the one from Duskmorn, withering something.
Oh, that's
Or
right. I forgot the
wither
name of that
something.
one.
It's like it's enchantment and artifact. I think that one is.
Yeah,
Um, but that one's basically like feed the swarm, but specifically for enchantments. Like there is so many options.
yeah,
The color swapping is happening a lot
yeah.
more than ever. It's
I mean,
it's
me like I said, like play more removal. Like, and it's not just creature removal. You need artifact and enchantment removal.
mhm,
Like, there's nothing wrong with having those things. Like, because there's a
like
lot of problem enchantments out there. I mean, Rhythm of the Wild. As much as I like that card, a lot
yeah,
of girl decks run it, and it can be a big problem.
it's a huge
Um,
problem.
yeah, Sulfuric Vortex. If you're running a life gain deck, oh, that is a no-no. What's another one? I mean, even the gods. Like, they may
Yeah,
be indestructible, but you can take them out if you have the right cards. I mean,
yep.
some of them have a toughness of 4. Drown in Ichor. One of my favorite enchantment and artifact removal spells. Revoke Existence. It
Ooh,
exiles an enchantment or artifact.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
and
That's
it's
a
and it's
that's a good
and it's
shout.
the same cost as Disenchant, a 1 and a white.
And it's cheap. Yeah,
Yep.
it's cheap. Yeah, I was gonna say one thing people forget, and I'm not saying whether I advocate for land destruction or not. I'm just making a statement. Generous
Let's
gift.
draw a line in the sand here, man.
Listen, I'm just saying. Generous gift says destroy target permanent. That's all it says. I'm just saying if you need to destroy that Field of the Dead, if you need to destroy that Gaia's Cradle, if you need to destroy that spacecraft, because not a lot of things specify spacecraft right now.
I
Generous
mean, at
gift
least the
says target
spacecrafts are
permanent.
artifacts, and
That's
when I
true.
play green, I will
That's true.
destroy those ships.
That's true. That's true. That's but like the land spaceship ones, like the one that's basically Gaia's cradle but a spaceship.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it doesn't say destroy target non-land permanent. It says destroy target permanent. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying do land destruction. I'm just saying sometimes you need something that gives you a wide breadth of options, and that option might have to be Field of the Dead. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying.
Oh boy.
Oh man, you thought
Oh
you were
man.
going to be the problem. You thought you were going to be the
Yeah.
problem on this podcast. I came out here and start saying destroy lands,
Yeah.
play World Fire. It's man,
Uh,
play World Fire.
when my Maestro Steph from Mono Black Meanies, when
Yeah,
they told me that they have a land destruction deck, I'm thinking, oh god, I hope I don't face this.
yeah. I don't play it often, but I have a Oops All Chandra's deck that has the card Burning Sands in it, And Burning Sands, for those who don't know, is a 2 red and 3. And it says anytime a creature you control would die, destroy or sacrifice a land.
Oh boy. You know, I really shouldn't be talking because I made a Gruul control deck.
What?
Yes, it's possible.
What deck is that? What deck is that one?
So I took that apart, but it
Okay.
involves this God of Destiny.
Yep. Okay. This makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Yep.
involves
Yep.
clock.
Yep. Yep.
And I have made, this is when I first started, all right? People, please put your pitchforks and torches down. I once made an Azorius control deck, but that was only because I saw it and I thought I'd give it a shot. And a friend of mine liked playing control. I handed him the deck, and another friend of mine, went through the 5 stages of grief because it just locked you out of the game. After that, I did not feel good, and I just took it apart.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
that. I've
And
done that
there's one
before.
more to this, Jose. I'm sorry.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah,
no.
I have a Child of Alara deck. Now it's not 99 lands. It's
Um.
God, and the whole point of the
Oh.
deck is basically just be like Cold War. I'm gonna
Mhm.
put this Child of Alara on the deck, on the table, and it's just gonna sit there. And if someone decides to do anything to me, I'm sacking it, and everything's gonna blow up. Your lands won't blow up, but every other permanent you have will blow up. My gods are gonna be safe because they're indestructible.
That's hilarious. Actually, I'm
Yeah,
not.
but the even funnier part about it is that I filled it with a bunch of stuff that says, and as additional cost, sacrifice it. So when I'm casting a spell, and if someone decides to counter it, they can't necessarily counter it then because I have to sack a creature to pay the additional cost. So then I sack the creature, they counter it, but everything blows up on the board.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Also a fun shout if for people who want to play Child of Alara decks. If you put a Shaya in, all your creatures are lands. Just saying.
Don't give me. Oh no! Now you're giving me ideas. Oh boy.
Yep. Yep. And then you just play Terra Eternal and all your lands have indestructible and it becomes a huge problem. I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying it's an option. I am a problem with when it comes to that stuff. But
People say I'm the bad guy.
yeah, yeah, I know. You just see, I'm the wolf in sheep's clothing over here. That's really what it is. No one knew this until you came on here, and then I could just be my real self. I
I'm
have
just
been
a wolf.
completed.
I'm
I could,
honest.
yeah, I've been completed now. That's all. I'm a Johnny in March. You know, I'm just a secret agent. That's really what it is. So to wrap up here, again, this has been so much fun. By the way, I've had a blast. This time has flown by.
Yeah. Holy
I can't
crap.
believe that. But I do want to wrap up for you because we're pushing your limits as it comes to time.
No, you're good.
But
You're good.
one thing I want to ask, and I think it's important, especially with a lot of things we talked about, is what hopes do you have for yourself, for your content, and for Magic in the coming days, weeks, years, what have you?
Ooh. In all honesty, my hopes in terms of my content, like I just hope I do grow a bit more. And I know I joke about it a lot, but I really do hope I get a creator pass someday.
I
Like
hope you do too. I think you
it
deserve it.
just debates me all the time, man. I'm just
Yeah.
like, come on, please.
It,
Even when my last video was like, hey, I need help from my followers here because I'm starting to get a little suspicious.
Yeah. Yeah,
but
I think you have enough of a following to say you probably deserve one. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I
Just
mean, I don't. I'm not in charge of all of it, and admittedly, I don't necessarily show my face and everything. So that may be the reason why I choose not to show my face because I at least want to have a veil of anonymity and everything. Because this
yeah,
is a character at the end of the day,
yeah,
and all that stuff. And I have my own life outside of this.
yeah,
And yeah, that might hinder me from getting a pass and all that stuff. But ultimately, I'm not the one who decides that. Maybe someone at WotC or whoever works at WotC feels that I don't deserve it. Okay, fine, and all that stuff. So, but I think it does make me feel good when people tell me like, no, you deserve it. Don't feel bad, like, but you definitely will get in the future. Just keep trying, all that stuff. Or when people tell me like, they want to bring me to Vegas, and that generally does make me feel good, and I do want to if I do, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can make it to Vegas this year. I do have plans to try and get some merch out so I can hand out to people. I mean, that art that I had commissioned, it's going to be a poison counter token. I just need to get on top of that right now.
yeah,
But yeah, aside from that, I'm hoping I get a creator pass. I hope I get a slightly bigger following and everything. I'm hoping I can at least make 30K, by the end of the year. I hope so. And in regards to Magic, this is probably foolish thinking, but I'm hoping WotC can become independent and just put a halt to Universes Beyond, and we can get like real Magic because I made a set of reels about top 5 worlds I would love to see in
Mhm.
Magic because you know, granted, it is great to return to worlds that we haven't seen in a while, a la Lorwyn. It would be nice for us to go back to Amonkhet. It would be nice to
Mhm.
see
I agree.
Muruganda instead of just getting a little
Mhm.
peek of it like we did
Yep.
in Aether Drift, because
Yep.
the lore for Muruganda is just awesome. Like
I
Muruganda
agree.
is basically Magic's Catachan. Like for you Warhammer fans, you know what I'm talking about. I'm hoping they can bring out newer, worlds because this is a multiverse after all. So I'm hoping we
Yeah.
can see like worlds that we haven't seen before, or we can see Garuk's home world, or what I would really like to see, as much as I, like to see a Native American themed plane or a Eastern European, slash Slavic plane. I would
Yeah.
love to see a Roman plane. Like there's so much you can do with that. There's a wealth of history they can take influence from, and we already have 3 characters from that world. Lycia is one of them, and Saskia is another one of them.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't think. I think it's Prava. Prava is the other one. He's the Leonin.
Facts. Yeah, I think that sounds right. And also, speaking of Muruganda and Cat, going back to Avishkar, especially since that's a name change. Like
Yep.
that would be really cool to actually go to, as opposed to driving through three planes and acting like it was like, oh, okay, we don't have to go back there for a while. That that'd be really nice.
Yeah, I mean, and
Um,
even then too, like, oh man, Aether Drift. It's a good idea, but I think they really flopped on that one. I mean, not to
yeah,
go into a rant, but like, I would have loved it if they just went to Amonkhet and they would have done a chariot race like in Ben Hur.
that would have been cool.
That would have
Yeah,
been much better, and then you can see what the world is like now without Nicol
yeah.
Bolas and after the Phyrexian invasion.
And you can still have the story of Chandra trying to get Nissa Spark back.
Exactly.
And I'm a huge Chandra fan, as I'm sure many people know. Not that Hope's Beacon comes from that or anything, but yeah, I agree with you. The story, it wasn't like I loved it because I love that it's shown a light on their relationship to that extent. And I know that the whole story at the end of the day is for somehow Nico Bolas comes back like Palpatine,
Yeah.
and like so I get it. I also think they need to figure that out sooner than later because we're 3 sets now, 3 magic sets since Nicol Bolas has come back, or
Yeah.
Nicol
Pretty much.
Bolas left his encampment, his
The
imprisonment,
meditation realm, I believe
the
it's called.
meditation realm. Yeah, and Jace, because Jace done fucked up as Jace does. But I really hope that I don't know what reality fracture is going to bring. I don't know if somehow he comes back in Strixhaven or what have you. But I hope they don't let that sit too long because that to
I
me is
hope
super
so either.
interesting. Is bringing back I'm assuming what I'm going to assume is that he steals the Aether Spark and then gets a spark back and then that's what starts everything. That's my assumption.
That could be a
Um,
thing.
yeah, I mean, we'll see, but I think I will say the one thing I will say as it comes to the universes beyond, like you said, I don't hope that they stop it. I hope that they slow down though, because
Yeah.
like because the fact that we had to push back Lorwyn and then all these issues happen with
Oh, I
Lorwyn
know. Oh God.
because of Avatar, and that the fact that Spider-Man was so I will say at best mid,
Yeah.
but in a lot of people's estimation, bad. And I was disappointed being a Spider-Man fan. I was disappointed with it. I thought it could have been a lot better. It felt like a larger version of Assassin's Creed, which is I think based
Yeah.
on what was said is what was the plan. It was supposed to be like the size of the Assassin's Creed set, and then they're like, we need to put more Spider-Man in it, and then it just became a bloated set.
Yep.
But I think that there's definitely a fair point to saying at the very least, like slow it down like quite a bit. Like
Yeah.
or keep it to universes or keep it to secret layers for now. Like that worked out. I mean, maybe still make secret layers. Buy print, not just like you have 100, have all the bots buy it because that sucks.
I mean, for me, I would like them to just halt it temporarily and everything, and then
To
just
figure it out.
yeah, rework things, and then maybe have it be like 1 or 2 sets a year, just something that's special. Like,
Yeah,
hey, we have regular Magic, but this is just this little special thing on the side.
yeah,
It's like when you play a video game and it has a wealth of content in it, like you have a story mode, a multiplayer, and all that stuff. But then
Yeah.
like, oh, here's a survival mode that you can play for hours on end.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. As
not
opposed
probably
to,
not the
uh,
best example, but I want something akin
yeah.
to that.
You
And
want it more like you want it more like planned out, like how a Mortal Kombat has DLC characters and they say who the
yeah,
DLC characters are, and then it's like, okay, you plan that out versus like, hey, here's a Fortnite skin that happens to be like Rhea Ripley, shout out Rhea Ripley,
yeah,
but like it happens to be Cody Rhodes, happens to be Sabrina Carpenter. You want it to be more like planned out DLC versus the, oh, here's a skin,
yeah,
have fun.
yeah, pretty much.
Because that's what
Like
it feels like. That's what it feels like. It feels like
yeah,
here's a skin, have fun at this point.
yeah. Like I mean, there's a reason why people would keep saying like, "Oh, Magic is starting to feel like the Fortnite of card games." I
Hmm.
mean, it kind of is.
Yeah.
The oversaturation of all these other IPs. You
Hmm.
know, I think if they kept it relegated to Commander and Secret Layers, then I think people wouldn't have a problem. Like keep it out of
Yeah,
Standard, maybe keep it out
it's
of
it's
Modern. I
standard.
know Lord of the Rings was a Modern type of thing, like
I
looking at people.
I I was gonna say my mill deck in modern actually is based around Rosie Cotton, so I'd be upset.
But overall, just slow it down.
Slow it down. I think
And
that's the
also too,
definitely thing. Slow down.
have it make a little bit of sense. I know this is going to sound weird for a lot of people. They're probably going to be thinking, "Oh, what did you get it going about?" Like, no, like stick to the fantasy aesthetic.
Yeah,
Like I said, I would love to see a Dark Souls. I would like to see any of the Souls games, be it Elden
yeah,
Ring, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. I would love to
yeah.
see a Conan Universes Beyond. I would love to see an
Oh
Elric
man,
of Melibone. Blizzard's not that great of a company, but a Diablo one would be
please,
probably really cool.
please
The
do
Witcher,
Mortal Kombat. Please do
yeah,
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat.
Kombat. Oh my god, Mortal Kombat would be great too. Like, I would
Yeah.
love to have a Sub Zero card. Like,
Oh
is he
my
probably going
gosh.
to be in glorious colors?
Yeah.
Probably, but he's my favorite character, and not Bihan. Kuai Liang.
Yeah.
Kuai Liang is a
Wiley
better.
Yang, I agree. Also, I'm a Scarlet main, so it would just be red black. So like it's and I'm okay with that because you know what, fuck it, let's fuck it, we
Yeah,
ball. So,
we ball.
but yeah, definitely has to be Kuai Liang, and you know what, make him partners with Noob, and that'll be
Oh well, you can have a flip card with like
yeah,
Bihan.
make him a
He comes
flip,
back from the
yeah.
graveyard and he'd be Noob Saibot.
My God, actually, you know what? Yeah, yeah. Watsy, call us. We got plans. We got
Exactly.
ideas. We got plans. Prophet, thank you so much for your time today. This was such a treat. This was you're so fun, and I hope
Oh,
that
thanks,
this
man.
little bit that people get to see you for who you are, which is a really, and I mean this everyone, not just because he's here on the podcast. I would say this to anyone. Prophet's a
I'm
really
not
really
threatening his plane or his life.
yes, exactly. We're good. But really good person, really good guy, really caring. And like he said, if you message, maybe he'll respond. Don't be a jerk about, in the messages. Be cool. And play more infect apparently. Prophet, do you
Yeah.
have anything you want to shout out or anything coming up that you plan on being at that people need to know about?
Well, one, I'm hoping I can show up to MagicCon Vegas. So if I do show up to MagicCon Vegas, I'm hoping to have some merch depending on the money, because again, this is more of a financial thing that's keeping me back. But hopefully you can find me at MagicCon Vegas if I do go. But another thing is that I'm working on. It's been kind of stalled because of other things, but I am working on a guide to Infect series. So because a lot of people have asked me, how do you play Infect, or what's the best commander and all that stuff. So I have it planned out and everything. So I'm hoping to get that out there, not as fast as possible, but a little bit of perfectionist, I will admit. So I want to make sure like it's good and ready. So I already
Yeah,
did the introduction to it. The first part is just going to be simple, like the difference between infect and toxic. But be on the lookout for that, because there are plenty of people who do want to learn how to play infect. And
yeah.
this might sound a little pompous, but there is a right and wrong way to play infect, people.
Of everyone in the world, I feel like you would know. So that's fair.
Well, it's either well, I'm going to sound conceited, but it's either
Do it.
me or the Mr. Infect guy.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mr. Infect is the name gives it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I think that's wholly fair. But Sans being able to get in touch with Mr. Infect, yes, I would say that is definitely you. What all socials do you have? I know you have Instagram. I know you got the Mox Field.
Yeah, you can just find me on Instagram and Moxville. Like I said, I just do this for fun. So
Yeah,
Instagram is the only thing I'm on right now. But yeah, Instagram, I got my Mox field there. If you want to take a look at some of my decks that I put out, I have little icons on there so where you can look at my decks. You can see how disgusting of a player I am.
Yep, and that's Phyrexian underscore prophet on Instagram, just to make sure
Yep.
we can find you because underscores matter for some reason, even though we should just be able to type it and you come up. That's neither here nor there. Prophet, thank you so much. You've been an absolute blast. I can't wait to. I hope you'll come back. I can't wait to have you again if you will, just because this is just fun. This flew by. This is great.
No, yeah. No, thank you for having me, man. I never expected this to happen. I tried at one point before, but that didn't go anywhere. But no, yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And everyone, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate your time. And please remember that when despair tries to win, counter with hope. We hope you have a great day.